Hello there, it's Dementia Man here. There I am. Right, it's ugly, isn't it? Anyway, Dementia Man's here. Now, I've got this little job to do. It's nothing big, it's just a simple job. Well, I'm hoping it will be. Dementia's not too bad today. Now, enough of looking at me. Let's... do you like this idea of me having to talk to you before I do the job? Maybe well, I don't know. Anyway, turn that one off. Here we are, normal view. Right now, what I've got here is it's one of these little mini PCs. I've tested it out, and it is all working. I can't. Right, now what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to sell this on, because I don't need it and it just sits on the shelf doing nothing. But what I want to do is, I want to take the, when I first got this a while back, I've had it a couple of years now, and I was using it for just watching DVDs, and obviously you had to add a DVD player to it because this doesn't have one in it. They're actually quite a versatile unit. They're ever so nice. This particular one is it's a Q190 from the Ideal Centre. Yeah, Q190. It was made in 2013, so quite old. It's probably only worth a few quid anyway. But it's got loads of inputs, HDMI out, Ethernet, power in, VGA and optical out, which is good. That's extremely well, that'll work with a lot of different things. And on the front, you've got this little flap and you've got an SD card reader, USB freeze, 2 of them, headphones and microphone. Really nice little unit. I mean, really compact. Now what we're going to do is it's just a simple job. Those of you that wanted something a bit more complicated, we should really just turn off now and not watch it. Now you've got these little feet on the bottom that you have to pull out just in the corners like this. Put them somewhere safe because they're almost impossible to find these anywhere. I've got them in a little pot. Right, you pull out the 4 little feet, then you unscrew. There's 4 screws in each corner. Don't lose them. Put them with the feet in the little pot. Now, and now this. Right, this is the 4th screw out the bottom. It helps when you've got a magnetic screwdriver. Right, that's that. Now you need a little pry bar. I got one of these ones, these are brilliant. They're ever so good. If you haven't got one, get one. You can get the plastic ones, but they only last a little while before they're all chewed up and horrible. This is stainless steel. Now, you need to get it in. I need to take my glasses off, sorry about that. And you say that, you do like this. To try and find an edge, obviously with the metal you've got, here's an edge, look. And then you just slowly lever it up really gently. Don't push it too far underneath because you might hit the circuitry. Come along there. That's it. Now it comes off with the little flappy bit. These are magnets, those 2 silver bits, and they hold it when it's not being, when it's the cover is up. Oh, here we are. Look, I've got a Kingston drive in here. The reason I don't sell these off with the SSDs in is because the SSDs are so useful, aren't they? They really, really are so useful. I've got a little bit of tape to take off here, which holds one of the antenna wires. There's 2 antennas in this one. It's got one over here and one over that side, and a proper little wireless card. The CPU's under there, under that bit there, and that is the, I believe it's graphics and Northbridge. I'm not sure if the graphics come from the CPU. I'm not too certain about that. Anyway, you've got a little memory slot here, one stick of memory. The fan, what it does is the fan blows out the back this side. It draws air in this side over the hard drive. Obviously, with an SSD in it, they don't run as hot. But I'm going to put in an ordinary hard drive. This is a blank, just to sell it on so that there's a drive in it and someone hasn't got to do the aggravation, I call it, of changing the drive. Now you've got 4 little screws again. I believe, now I'm not sure if they're different. Let me have I'll keep them separate anyway, just in case. With these sort of things, you don't want to swap screws that are too long, put ones that are too long back, because you might go through the case and spoil it, or into another bit of circuit. It depends. There's no more circuit underneath this board, but you don't want to actually go through into the other side of the case. That's 4 little screws, right? Then it just flaps, just pushes down that way a little bit to disengage the drive from the socket. Now you've got the drive, right? Again, you've got 4 screws. Push that out of the way a little bit. Steady, steady. There we go. Got 4 screws which come out like that. As I say, this is quite a simple job. You know, I haven't done a video for a little while. Got to try and kick my hand in. I've actually got a new computer now doing the videos. I've got strangely enough, I've gone from an i3 to an i5. I know they're still really old, but someone gave me a couple of computers, and it's a quad-core i5, I think, the one I'm using now. I think it's quite a heavy one. It's 3000 gigahertz. Free. That sounds right. Anyway, look, that's the drive out of its caddy. It's a little 240. They're still handy, worth hanging on to the SSDs. Try and keep the caddy the same way round, which I didn't. Goes that way round, so that you get it into the same. You can see how the sockets line up. The drive into the bottom of the caddy. Otherwise you put the screws in like I've done before and find you've got the caddy around the wrong way, and then you've got to do it again. See, a magnetic screwdriver, it does help, it really does. And if you don't shake too much, try and, you know, with the Parkinson's, you try and adapt and do different methods. Now just put them in loose to start with until all the screws are just loosely put in, and that makes sure that the screw holes are all lined up properly. Don't matter which order you do it, because you've left the screws loose. Look, I'm not doing it. Right, that's that. Now just loosely wind them in a few turns. God, look at that. See? Look. I'll be breathed then to do that one. This is stop it. Here we go. These jobs take me a lot longer these days to do these little things. Right, now you've got all 4 screws in, just nip them up. You don't need to yank them up really tight, just make sure they're nipped up. Because, you know, you were talking of little screws here, and you got a big arm on the end and there's quite a twist on the screwdriver. You could quite easily muck up the screw head. Right, just to tip up. Now what happens when you got these ordinary drives here, the caddy is used as a heat sink as well as a shield. Because what'll happen is this will get hot, it'll transfer the heat into the metal case and help keep it cool. But as I say, these units with this type of drive in it, they run quite warm. You'll find the case getting quite hot. Anyway, now you slide it back, just drop it back down in there. Try and mind your antenna wires, because there's one over here. Did you see that? It was getting trapped. So be careful of the antenna wires. That's it, and then slot it in. If you find it ain't going in easily, it probably means you've got something not quite right, or you've got a wire trapped under it. Now put these screws back in. It's as easy as that, this machine. They're really nicely... Hang on a second, just a second, while I settle down a little bit. I'm sorry about this, but the Parkinson's does get the better of you sometimes. Just guide the screw in. Oh God, both hands now, look at that. Oh dear, you gotta laugh, because you know it won't get any better. Again, just put them in loosely, because you've got 4 screws and you don't know if there's a bit of leeway to the screw holes. If you tighten one up, you might be pushing against the thread on another one. Just a little bit. I hope this drives. I wonder if I should have used the slimline drive in this. I hope that drives. No, it should clear. Because I don't know if you know about some of these drives, that some are fatter than others, but I'm sure the manufacturer's fault of that. Although that you can get really nice ones of these drives which are really slim, and, you know, not SSDs either. Right, now you've got all 4 screws in, just nip them up a little bit. Make sure your aerial wires are out the way. I thought I had 2 bits of tape. I've only got 1 left. I bet it's got under there. Still, it won't hurt nothing. Anyway, pin your wire down the side if you can, because this drive's a bit fatter. So you might need to, oh, didn't do that right, did I? So you might need to make sure your wire stays out of the way. There's a screw hole over there. Make sure you clear that screw hole in the corner. The lever to the front flap comes in that slot there, so you don't want it touching this wire. That'll clear that. Now you put the case back on. Round, only goes on round one way. That's the front little flappy bit. Hold it out of the way. clip it in. And put the screws back in. These can't go out of alignment or anything because they're actually tunneled. Just nip them up. I can't say that too much to you. You don't want to strip a screw or snap a plastic post, because these go into metal bosses, but they're mounted in plastic posts, a bit like a laptop. My hand's in the way, you can't see this, but just a little bit. Right, get the little feet, only going one way round. They're quite, there's a rubber stopper there, a rubber bit, and a narrow big rubber bit. They're all one material, but they've textured one end, so that goes down to the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry about this. It's a boring job, isn't it? Not much repair at all, really. Now what I'm going to do is, it's a blank drive, so what I can do is, now the front all works, see, I'm going to actually I'll power it up, but there won't be no picture or anything. It takes an ordinary laptop power supply, 19 volt. Turn it on. Now there's a button on the end here, which is not very good on this one. There it goes. It's powering up. You've got air going in this end, and this is the outlet of the fan. You can, if you put your hand like that, you can actually feel the air coming out. You've got an on light on the end of the button there. It used to be blue, but now it's white. I don't know why that is. That's it. Not much else to do, really, to this. To turn it off, because there's nothing on the hard drive, it ain't going to hurt just to unplug it. You can muck around with this switch here, holding it in, and it powers, cycles down. But I've never had any luck with this one. Obviously, once you've got a picture up on the screen, you can just press shut down. Your mouse and your keyboard go through the USBs here. The ones on the front are really handy, being frees, because you always plug in something like an external hard drive or a CD-ROM. Go through the frees, you get a higher speed. Well, that's it. There's not much else to do. Well, there isn't. That's it. It's done. I'm going to sell this one on. It's probably only worth a tenner, something like that. The drive I put in there was a 250 gigabyte, which is well big enough for these type of things. It's never going to do 1080p, I don't think. It might do. It might struggle on YouTube 1080p. But ideal for DVD watching and just surfing eBay, that type of thing. This type of thing really does do it. That's it, and I'll see you again in the next one. I got a couple of bits which are not very interesting. There's a really old laptop here, but I'm not going to take it apart. It's just too much. I'll tell you something I have got here. Is one of these things. Unfortunately, the screen's bled. It's actually memo recorder. Olympus. This one doesn't work, doesn't power up. There's something wrong with these buttons here. Although the screen's damaged, unless there's an actual feedback, it's something to do with these on buttons. See, this button here is stopped working. Now if it's locked on, your other buttons are locked out. There's a hold button there. Don't know, should we have it apart, Jerry? Alright, while I'm here doing the video, let's take this one apart. Take out the batteries. 2 little AAAs. Looks to me like there's got my screwdriver. Sorry about that, I've dropped my screwdriver down the back of the heat shield on me. There's a heat mat for when I do reflows and that. God, they're tight. Oh. Little screws. I don't think I'll be able to get this going. God, they're long screws. They really are long screws. They go right through. This hasn't been apart since it was manufactured, this one. Well, they don't often go wrong, but this one has been left out in the sunshine and the screen all bled. I forget where I got it from now. You can feel the plastic being a bit, oh, that's a short one, that screw. No idea how this comes apart. Looks like them springs stay on the circuit board. That's unusual. They obviously soldered on the circuit board. Let's try from this end. Oh look. Things are happening. Don't know what, but something is. Looks to me like it draws out of the case. Never had one of these apart before. Never really wanted to. There's probably nothing in here to repair. There's like a rubbery thing. It's a seal of some sort. Right. It's all a bit furry in here. A bit of green. I wonder if the batteries had leaked out at one time, but they haven't destroyed the battery bay. Little tiny one. There's a lot of green in here. Strange. Didn't see any signs of water damage. Let's take this cover off here. This seal. Oh, that button is, it's one of them multi buttons. You've got to try and get them back in place when you put the case back on. Gonna let you see this. Hang on, here we go. Bit more light. Well, see these. Where's the pointer? I've got a blunt pointer here. I don't know where the top's gone for that. We've got a bit of green around this here, which is a battery terminal. These wires are totally there's fur on them ones there. Let's just check these buttons. Not working at all, that one. That one works. That one works. That one does. No, that one's not. It's stuck. That one's working a little bit. No. 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 So none of these at this end are working. Now, if they're actually stuck down, because it's a pulse, they're interfering with the other pulses coming from the other buttons. I think what we do is, don't do this at home, people. I'm going to just spray some of this on there. Get the big toothbrush. This probably isn't going to help this at all, because I got none of these buttons. I can't replace them. You just have to hope that maybe that whatever's on them comes off. Right, just dry it off. A bit of heat from the heat gun. So, sorry, you're not going to see this. But that screen's had it anyway. Bit of heat never hurt anything, I tell you. But look, you see that screen? It's totally no good. You know, sometimes the screens have a feedback, and it can go back to the circuit. And if it's not feeding back, the circuit won't work anyway. That didn't clean it up very good at all. Let's see if it's made any difference. Nah, no difference. I would have sent the sentence. Did that work before? The outside ones? No. That one's good. You can hear a definite click. God, the fumes. Don't breathe it in. Oh, we've got a broken wire there. I probably did that with the toothbrush. What is it for? A speaker. Not worried about that. Just throw the batteries in it and see what happens. If I smoke, it's nothing to do with me. I stopped smoking years ago. Let's go back to normal view. Here we are. What's that there? What's that there? They go. Oh, I see. It goes there, and I think it's that one there. Let's see. See if I can trace the voltage up to the where it's going to go. Put that out of the way. This simple video has turned into one a little bit longer, hasn't it? Right, we've got the negatives down here. What's that? Is it on both? No, that goes round there to there. Two 6. No, that's the ohms. Where's the other battery connector? Goes up into there, comes round to there. I think it's that one. Is it marked up? It's not marked up, I think. No. That's strange. No, that's an input. That's something to do with the little USB input. Oh, that's a bit strange. Let's see if I can trace that through. Hang on a second. Goes to. Oh, hang on. Well, I might be looking at the wrong bit. Right. That's right. Both positives are at that end. It looks like it's over here, which is this seems a bit off. No. No. What's going on here? Got my cells. Batteries go in there up to there. Comes through to that one there. I'm a bit strange here. No. What's happened here? Perhaps I got my meter on. No, it's on as it should be. DC voltage. This is 0.30 volts. It's these batteries were all right. They were charged. It's deadened the batteries overnight. The batteries have drained out. Well, that's the end of that one. It's not. It's something that should just go in the bin. Sorry about that. Anyway, nice to have spoke to you again, people. I don't know how many of you actually watch my videos. Having dementia, I'm not really inclined for comments or anything like that, because if I read them, I don't know if just a second. Here I am. I don't know if any of you know about dementia, that much about it. But what happens is, if someone speaks to you, they're saying words, but sometimes the words mean nothing. You have to listen, hear the words. You have to decode them in your head. Like normal people find it so easy to do, but people with dementia hear the word, decode it, but they decode it wrong. Well, I do. I think it happens to most dementia people. The word doesn't. You hear it, you decode it, but you've decoded it into saying something totally different. And so when you give them the answer, they look at you as if you're stupid. Maybe you are. I don't know, but if you're talking to someone with dementia, bear in mind it's going to take them longer to decode it and understand it. And sometimes I have to say to people sometimes, your words mean nothing. Try different words. And that annoys people, and they get annoyed. And the patients, obviously they're thinking that what they're saying is right. Well, it is, but you're hearing it as something else, or you've decoded it as something else. And sometimes people talk to me, and I give them that blank look, which I'm quite good at these days. And they say to me, why aren't you listening to me? And I say to them, what you said didn't make any sense. And of course, they're normal. So what they're saying, they assume is what you're hearing. But you're not. You're hearing something totally different. Or you've decoded it wrong. Or you haven't understood the words whatsoever. Sometimes it's just garbage that they're saying. You can't say that to them because it's an insult, and they get really annoyed about that. Sometimes I just have to hold my hand up and say, stop, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Try a different way. Or, on the telephone. If you're on the telephone and you're talking to someone, now they're saying that you haven't got any visual clues. So what it is, you listen to the words, you've got to take them in. It's totally different from facing someone. You have to understand what they're saying, decode the words, and then form an answer to say back to them. It's different from speaking to someone face to face. It takes longer. It takes a lot longer. And again, you the best thing to do is, if you're on the phone, tell the people straight away, I've got dementia, I may not understand what you're saying. And some people understand that, but other people, they think if they shout at you, it's like you're deaf or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of this video, and hopefully all you people out there suffering with this dementia, it's not too bad, and you're able to carry on for a bit longer. I'm carrying on as long as I can. Eventually I won't be able to do anything. I know that. The Parkinson's is going to get me before anything else, I think. Because, if you can't hold a screwdriver, you can't do the work. Anyway, at least I'm hoping that my videos is helping other dementia people. Something I got the other day was because I have trouble when I'm eating sometimes, and the shakes, and I flick everything all over the table. It's very embarrassing sometimes. I don't go out to restaurants anymore because I'm actually gluten free. I've got celiac, and so I can't have anything with wheat products whatsoever. Even the slightest bit upsets my stomach and can be dangerous. So a lot of restaurants, they can't guarantee they're gluten free. I understand if some other people have got celiac. Anyway, what was it? Oh, anyway, see, dementia. What I'm saying is, I got these weighted cutlery, knife and fork, and they're like 5 times the weight of normal cutlery, and believe you me, it helps a bit. It does help. They're also funny. They're shaped. They're curved. I haven't got them here. I can't show you, but it does help. I suppose it'll help some people and not others. Anyway, I'm going to go now because it's tea time. Cup of tea. I still drink tea. Mustn't have too much sugar now because I'm diabetic as well. Falling to pieces, really. It's terrible. Anyway, thanks for watching my videos. All you people out there that do watch my videos, I hope they are helping with something. Even if listening to someone rabbit on about dementia, when a lot of you are probably perfectly all right. But anyway, all you people with dementia, keep smiling. Find something to do. Don't just sit there watching me. Get yourself something you think you can do. Build houses out of lolly sticks, even. You know, it does work. Design things. Write things down on paper if you can. You know, do anything just to keep the brain going. It's that's the thing. You can't beat dementia, but you can fight it. Anyway, bye bye now for now. Speak to you all again very soon.